Hey there, CPO here, and in this video I'm going to be installing bump stop spacers in the front of this TJ. These are hockey pucks. I want to show you these things. These are actually pretty awesome and quite simply a great DIY project if you're looking for bump stop spacers for the front of your TJ Jeep Wrangler. These are hockey pucks. I got these as part of a kit from DPG Offroad. It's their ultimate TJ lift kit, and they do include two of these for a 2-inch spacer in the front of the Jeep. I was fascinated. I was like, man, these look just like hockey pucks, and turns out that's what they are. So these are two standard official hockey pucks. One of them has a drilled center hole. The other has a drilled center hole with a countersunk hole. And then when they're stacked, they become perfect bump stop spacers for your front axle. So anyway, I just thought that was really cool. And again, something that you could easily procure and make on your own if you choose to do so. Anyway, basically what we need to do is drill a hole in the center of this, big enough for this self-tapping bolt, which is then going to go through both of these. And then of course, now you can see why it's countersunk, so that the head of that bolt goes in there. So anyway, let's knock that out. Now, according to the instructions from DPG Offroad, they want an 11/32 size drill bit. I don't have one of those, but I do have a 21/64, which is just a smidge smaller. I'd rather go just a little bit smaller than too big, and this works out well. So anyway, I guess get close if you can. I'm gonna put just a dab of oil right there. That's a little bit of WD-40. And I'm just gonna come in here. Now, what I want is a straight up and down hole. But my problem is this bump stop is sort of keeping me from going straight up and down. So I'm gonna rip that bad boy out for now. That way I can get straight up and down with the drill. And this is a really easy process. And I'm through. Just like that. Now I can pop this guy back in so I don't lose it. If you have problems getting it back in, a little squirt of WD-40 lubricates it nicely. Should snap in, make sure it snaps in. And now we should be able to start this. Now, if it doesn't want to grab right away, actually that grabbed perfect. I was gonna say, if it doesn't want to grab right away, sometimes I'll take a hammer and just tap lightly the top. Tap it, turn it a little bit, tap it again, and that'll help it dig in. But this dug in just fine. So basically what we're doing now are tapping those threads. And that's all the way through. And then what this is gonna look like is this right there. And of course we'll put that all the way down. But before I do this, I want to do two things. Number one, I want to clean out that hole with, I'm going to spray it down with some brake clean to get that oil out of there, because I'm going to use a little bit of thread lock on that whenever I do the final install, just to keep that from going anywhere. And I don't want that WD-40 to prevent that from sticking. And then we're gonna put our spring in first, then put in the bump stop extension, because if we put the bump stops in, it's gonna raise that 2 inches. It's gonna be impossible to get that spring into this space. So I'll show you how I add that in after I get the spring in. All right, so now that we've got our spring in there, we can work our bump stop spacers inside there, AKA our hockey pucks. And I'm gonna put a little bit of blue thread locker on the end of that, just because there's not a whole lot of torque holding this in, because you can't compress it too much. This rubber will just tear through with this bolt. So I want to use a thread locker to sort of do a final secure. And then this is just a, what is this? 9/16 inch wrench. You can come in here in between the coil springs and tighten it down. Now, as far as how tight you do it, not super tight. So once you feel it, you know, compress the two hockey pucks, you'll feel it get snug. Maybe just a quarter turn past that is all I would go. Let that thread lock be what holds it in place. Okay, I feel it start to get snug. Now it's really snug. Now maybe 1/4 past that. And that should hold it. Anyway, guys, that's it. That is the hockey puck bump stop extension installation. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.